What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon NBA DFS video. It is Thursday. It is November 2nd, and we are back with another video. If you've never been here before, welcome. You're in for a treat. If you've been here before, welcome back. You know the drill. Anytime any of our videos get at least 50 likes, you leave a comment, and you are a subscriber to our YouTube page, you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content. Anytime a video gets 100 likes, you have a chance to win a free month. 125 likes is a chance to win a free year. And anytime any of our videos get 150 or more likes, you have a chance to win a lifetime pass. Now, yesterday's video, I forgot to do the giveaway until the end of the video. So if you didn't watch till the end, you missed it. We did not. Let's just double check. Normally, it is at least 50 likes before the main slate locks. We had 44 likes on that video yesterday. So we are back. I know we can do better on this video. We only have 4 games, so it's going to be a little bit different. And like I've said in the past, anytime there are at least 5 games, we'll have 3 top, 3 mid, and 3 value picks at each position. Anytime there are less than 5 games, we're just going to give you some picks with our projections for each position. So we got 4 games. We're going to go over the Vegas numbers. We're going to go over the points allowed by position. And then we are going to go ahead and build a lineup, or just the process of building a lineup. Now, not necessarily use this lineup and that's it. This is just a process throughout the video, throughout the day as well. Value picks will come upon us because people will be out, people will be in. So we don't have the value picks yet, but we will. So that being said, we are also doing some simulations, just like we did with MLB. So we'll give you the top players simulations, just like we did with MLB. Towards the end of the video, we'll do that. So that being said, let me know how you guys did yesterday. We had one, so I think I made 4 lineups yesterday on Fanduel, and I think like 1 under 300 cashed, which makes no sense because usually you're looking at 380, 390, 400 to cash or to win. In the cash lines at 320-ish. Last night, I think it was like 297, which makes, this is what's weird. This is why some of the data we are still waiting on throughout about a month worth. 293.1 cashed for me. 377 won it on FanDuel in what I've done, the league I did, and then 293.1 cashed. So I don't know. If you're not part of the premium content, you can sign up to FTA Plus a month, $24.99, which includes sports betting, or you can go ahead and you can check out the yearly pass, normally $199. Use the promo code Thursday, all one word, all capital letters. You're going to get it for $75. We have 2 coupon codes left. So if you guys have been waiting, there's only 2 left. So jump on it while you can. So that being said, what I want to do is go through the Vegas numbers real quick. So we've got the Suns at the Spurs, 225.5 over under. So the highest over under on the slate. We got the Suns as a 7.5 point favorite. And this is kind of what I was talking about yesterday. So yesterday I mentioned the blowout factor for Boston, and if we use Boston players, and if it was a blowout, if they'd get pulled and we were screwed, that's kind of what my biggest concern was. And they ended up winning 155 to 104. So that was where I was like, you have to use some of them, but hopefully they get those points before they get pulled, which we got some of them and some of them we didn't. So luckily, 7.5, we've got some big games here that have some spreads that we could see the same thing. So this is where I'm very cautious. It's 4 games. Couple of them, 3 of them have huge spreads on them. It could be an ugly slate. I'm going to take it real light today, I think, but I wanted to bring this to you. So Suns at the Spurs, Suns 7.5 point favorite, 225 over under. You've got Jazz at the Magic. Jazz are only 1 point favorite right now, 222.5 over under. Pelicans at Pistons, 219 over under. Pelicans are a 7.5 point favorite. And then we got the 76ers at the Raptors, 215.5 over under, so a lower over under. The 76ers are an 8.5 point favorite, which scares me a little bit due to that fact. So 3 of the 4 games have at least a 7.5 spread. The other one has a 1. So the Jazz and Magic could be a low-scoring game, but it could be a close game as well. So this is why I'm going to say take a deep breath, maybe take it slow today. We've got some football, not the best teams. We've got Will Levis versus injured Kenny Pickett. We'll see. Depending on when you watch this video, our PGA content is up. So if you want, you can go check out our PGA content. It starts at 8:25 Eastern, I think, or 9:25 Eastern, one of the two. So it starts soon, so you can watch that if you want. So that being said, what I'm going to do real quick is edit this. So depending on what site you play on, DraftKings, Fanduel, whatever, it's Phoenix and San Antonio. So, and this is a good way for you to do it too. Phoenix, San Antonio, Utah, and Orlando. You've got New Orleans and Detroit. And then you got Philadelphia, Toronto. So, and this is a good way for you to do it. So, oh, I meant San Antonio, not Sacramento Kings. San Antonio. Okay. So now we're going to go over today's article, which you can find down below. And if you will, click on the article so the views show up. So I know you guys like to see this. So, also, we're very excited. NFL's here, obviously. We're going to have the article for the positional rankings. Those will be out today. The video will probably be out today as well. It will change a little bit come Sunday once all the news comes out. But definitely give us all the love you can over there on the site as well. We have a ton of information for NBA, but we have even more for NFL. So we're very excited to show you what we've got. So that being said, point guard, we got, now these are projections. These are floor projections, guys. So we're not projecting out triple doubles. We're not projecting out 70+ fantasy points. These are conservative floor projections. They can change a little bit. So if you want a little bit more, we do have player projections on the website, which we put out about a couple hours before tip-off. So point guard, we got Tyrese Maxey at 41 fantasy points. We got CJ McCollum at 35, Dennis Schroeder at 30, Cole Anthony 26, and DeAnthony Melton at 25 fantasy points. We've got our shooting guards, Cade Cunningham at 39 fantasy points, Brandon Ingram at 39, Devin Vassell at 32, OG Anunoby at 26, and Jordan Clarkson at 26 as well. Small forward, we got Lauri Markkanen at 43 fantasy points, Scotty Barnes at 40 fantasy points, Tobias Harris at 33, Keldon Johnson 32, and Franz Wagner at 32 fantasy points as well. Moving to the favorite position or favorite plays at power forward, you got Kevin Durant at 50, you got Zion Williamson at 32, Pascal Siakam at 40, Victor Wembanyama at 37, and Paolo Banchero at 34 fantasy points. Then moving to the center position, my favorite play of the day, Joel Embiid at 54 fantasy points, Yusuf Nurkic at 34, Zach Collins 30, Jonas Valanciunas 29, and Walker Kessler at 28 fantasy points. Now, our value plays will come soon. We are still waiting on some news for the news to actually show some value that comes out. So we are still waiting on Devin Booker's got questionable tag. Brandon Ingram's questionable. Bradley Beal is already out. So there's some that are opening up, and there's some that we are still waiting on to see what they're going to do. So that is definitely something to pay attention to. Like I said, we have simulation models up, and we've ran them so far. These are the top ones so far today. We'll give you the top 10 first, so give me a second. So we've got Zion. So these are simulation models that have the best value so far today. Zion Williamson, Lauri Markkanen, Pascal Siakam, Cade Cunningham, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, Jalen Duran, Ausar Thompson, and Dennis Schroeder. So looking at those are the current simulations, players that we like, players that are simulating out high, whether or not that comes through, we still wait on some news. We'll do some simulations. So we do the simulations a couple hours before tip-off, and that'll help us build out the cheat sheet. That'll help us build out the projections. Those help us build out everything. So wanted to bring that to your attention. So the next thing is building a lineup real quick, or how we go about building a lineup, what goes into it, the thought process, stuff like that. So first off, I think I got to get in Embiid in there. 11,500 is kind of steep, I get that, but we'll build around him. These are GPP lineups anyway. So we kind of go through here, just if you want to sort it. The Spurs give up the most amount to the point guard, so we come here. That's Phoenix. For point guard, Booker is questionable. He's played one game this year. If he is out, Goodwin is another option. 5,400 I love, so I'll put him in there as well. So we'll come here. We'll go to shooting guard here. We'll look at this. You see Detroit gives up the most amount at 50.5 fantasy points. And this is not the only way to do it, but we'll do this. Detroit at shooting guard. Ingram is out, so Hawkins probably gets the minutes. Last time he played 37 minutes. That was yesterday. Had 28 fantasy points at his price. He's bumped up to 4,600. I'm still taking him because we can still average 5,700-ish. So I feel good with that. Come through here. We got small. Now, again, these are not the only way or only stats to use to build your lineup, because we're still only, 5-6 games into the season. So these are a little bit skewed. You kind of want to wait for about a month to get real confident in these, but these are what we've got going. So recency bias, we've got this, we've got our simulations, we got everything. So hopefully this does help you. So looking at small forward, they give up an average of 56.2 fantasy points. They rank 29th for Utah. So that brings us Orlando. Is it going to be France Wagner? Is it going to be Ingles, who's probably, he's not playing very many minutes. If you're using one, it's Wagner. We see 30, 36. So that's kind of what we're looking at. He's not hitting like 6 times value, because, again, if you play cash games, you're looking at about 6 times value. So 6,700 times 6, and whatever that is the fantasy point target you're looking for. GPPs are 7+. So 7.5 times value. I'll look at France Wagner, and we can make some changes if we need. So we look at power forward. We look here. Phoenix give up 51 fantasy points per game to the opposing power forward so far this year, ranked 25th, where New Orleans is 50.6. So we can go both San Antonio and Detroit. Then we can look at power forward. Now, obviously, you would love Victor. He's very expensive. We could come down a little bit. Just depends. You got Victor here, game log wise, 36. He hasn't really hit value. He's hit value one time. So he's probably out. I'm probably out on Victor. So we look at San Antonio. Chetty Osman, if he's been playing minutes, it's not very many minutes. He's 3,500. He is a cheap option if something happens to Victor, anything like that. You can see he's right there, and he would be a cheap option. Let's just throw him in there right now. This is a kind of like a placeholder because we don't really know. Game logs wise, depending. If you want to watch ones that are averaging fantasy points per game, and we look at 6,100, Jordan Clarkson could be a good option. 39 there. Again, he's playing the minutes. He had less minutes this game and got more fantasy points. Had more minutes this game and got less. So it's been up and down. I'll put Clarkson in there for now. Maybe we'll change it later. We'll see. Then about 6,400 is the average. 6,450 is the average we can use. Keldon Johnson against Phoenix. Game log had a really good game there to 33 minutes. If he gets the minutes, he's in for a good spot. We'll see. So then you got 6,400 left. Possibly a Zach Collins against Phoenix. Phoenix against the center position. They're the best. So they're pretty good against center position. I'd probably off of him. Dennis Schroeder against Philly, if they're playing from behind, I kind of like him as well. So this is just kind of a lineup that I'd look at. I'm not necessarily going to play this lineup exactly. Things could change. We might update some things. News might break that we'll look at, but this is just one that I will put out there. This is using our information. This is using the stats that we have to go off of now. Again, this is centered around Embiid. So if you obviously take Embiid out at 11,500, you can afford everyone else. Zion, who I'm not 100% in love with. You got Pascal here, 45 fantasy points. He's at 8,700. I'll put him in there. And then that opens up 9,200 for utility, which is Zion, Laurie, Cade Cunningham, which proved to be as of now, the best player through simulations. So, or the second best player behind Zion, which I don't really trust Zion as much. So that's definitely something I'd look at. But this is just a lineup you can build around. You could take out, let's say you take out Chetty Osman because you don't think he's going to do much. Average 6,300 here. You could go John Collins. He's getting the value here, so we go John Collins there, and then utility opens up at 7,100. That brings us to a Tobias Harris, a Yusuf Nurkic we could use. So if we look at San Antonio, they're the second worst against the center position, so maybe Nurkic comes in, and that's another lineup you could look at. And you can make edits and updates. That's just kind of what we do in the thought process. So that's what I've got in this video. If you like to hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell notification and check everything else we have to offer throughout the week. We've got MMA coming up this week. We've got NFL. We've got this NBA, the final season of final race of NASCAR, I believe. And MLB is finally done. Congratulations to the Texas Rangers, everyone except Aroldis Chapman and Andrew Haney, who did not deserve it. Good luck on the slate, and as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace!